Hey guys, Xbox90 here with the top 30 EDH Commander countdown for Gatecrash. So this is the second video. We're going to go between 20 and 11. So today we're going to start with number 20 will be Stolen Identity. Stolen Identity is 4 and 2 blue for a sorcery that puts a token onto the battlefield as a copy of target artifact or creature. So it's essentially a clone effect, but it allows you to do like Phyrexian Metamorph, artifact, or a creature, which is versatile and awesome for 6 mana, but because it has Cipher, which is pretty crazy, you can stick this onto an unblockable creature, you can stick it onto your commander or powerful creature, and allow you to reuse it over and over again. This is incredible card advantage, and it is just a fantastic card, and this is why it is at number 20. Number 19, we have Blind Obedience, which is 1 and a white for an enchantment Extort, which is always good because in EDH you will likely have a lot of mana, especially mid to late game, to dump into your spells. It says that artifact and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. This makes your opponents have artifact and creatures hit play tapped anytime they play them. For a 2-cost utility, that's pretty awesome that it allows you to extort, so it can just sit there early game onward and just allow you to dump into extort. In multiplayer EDH, Extort is awesome, and of course artifact and creatures hitting play tapped makes your opponents, if they have artifacts that can tap first turn, now they can't, and of course their creatures, even if they have haste, can't do anything. That's a really nice lockdown card. Number 18, we have Fathom Mage, which is 2 a green and a blue for a human wizard 1/1 evolve, that whenever a 1/1 counter is placed on it, you may draw a card. Basically, this is an incredible card draw engine in any graft and or +1/+1 counter deck, but even without a +1/+1 counter deck, the fact that it allows you to very, very quickly make Fathom Mage into a strong creature while constantly drawing new cards from a fairly cheap cost of 2 a green and a blue is pretty awesome, and that's at 18. Number 17, we have Mind Grind for all those mill decks out there. X, a blue and a black for a sorcery. Each opponent reveals a card on top of his library until he or she reveals X land cards, then puts all cards revealed this way into their graveyard, and the X cannot be 0. Then again, you would never want it to be 0. So the fact that it allows X land cards in EDH, if you do, I don't know, 5 to 10 land cards, especially if your opponent's deck has already been playing many lands, chances are you'll mill a ton of cards. What's also great about it is if you have an infinite combo that allows you to get infinite colorless mana, you essentially mill their whole deck with this one card. Having that option is phenomenal for any mill deck. Number 16, we have Whispering Madness, which was already mentioned in the spoiler from pretty much everyone, that it's a well-known EDH card because it is 2 a blue and a black, 2 Windfall, that each player discards his or her hand, draws cards equal to the greatest number. The fact that you can cipher it makes it Windfall on a stick, which is pretty crazy, and gives a nice variety for the simple cost of 1 additional black. Number 15, we have Enter the Infinite, which is 8 and 4 blue. Whoa, holy crap, I talked about this card in my spoiler, and though it is, of course, incredibly expensive, the fact that it essentially wins you the game for 12 mana makes it a awesome EDH card, if you can end up using it, of course, and the fact that many decks have ways of cheating or getting spells out early also makes its cost not entirely inconvenient, and in a mono blue deck, this would of course be one of the best ways to end the game. Just control it, draw cards, and essentially win the game. It is pretty cool, and we'll definitely be seeing some sort of weird play in EDH, no question about that. Number 14, we have Hellkite Tyrant, 4 and 2 red for a 6/5 flying trample. Whenever he does combat damage, gain control of all artifacts that player controls, and if you control 20 more artifacts, you win the game. So, of course, any deck that runs many artifacts, particularly I'm thinking Bosch Iron Golem, it is very, very easy to make your permanents and artifacts with things like Mycosynth Lattice. You play this card, you win the game. Of course, you also gain control of your opponent's artifacts, so given that many decks use artifacts, this card will allow you to take control of all of them, and the fact that it is a 6/5 flying trample body for 6 alone makes it a pretty strong beater, and it is pretty sick. Definitely one of the better dragons out there for EDH, especially for artifact decks. Number 13, we have Aurelia the War Leader. Why Aurelia is not higher on the list is because although she is kind of cool and will definitely be an interesting general with her Vigilance, Haste, and Untap ability that allows you to have an extra combat phase whenever she attacks, you can't use her in Kali the Vast, and her 6 cost is a bit hefty given what she does, that she relies on attacking and using your creatures in order to win you the game. 3/4, still pretty awesome, definitely makes 13 on the list. though she's maybe not as powerful outside of her commander use as I would like. Number 12, we have Consuming Aberration, which is a surprisingly powerful EDH card. 3 a blue and a black for a star. Its power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyards. Notice it is plural. In EDH multiplayer, that means that every opponent will have at the very least several cards in their graveyards, making it a humongous body for 5, and its ability that whenever you cast a spell, each opponent reveals cards till they reveal a land and then mill those cards, means that you'll likely be able to, in a mill deck particularly, mill your opponents down fairly easily. The huge body plus cool mill mechanic, that makes it number 12 for me. Number 11, the last for this video, we have Lazov the Dimmer Mastermind. No one saw this one coming. He's 2 black and 2 for a 3/3 hexproof, which is always good, especially if it's a commander, because it protects himself. Whenever a creature card is put in the graveyard from anywhere, an opponent's graveyard, you may have him become a copy of that card. And he gains hexproof and the ability, which is awesome, because that means you can take big, powerful creatures your opponents lose from wherever, and he becomes them, which allows you to use over and over again, take your opponent's stuff. Awesome. The fact that he's hexproof as well makes him, even when he's a copy, very hard to kill. Will definitely be a very powerful commander option, and will likely go into blue-black EDH decks. So that is number 20 through 11. So please let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of my list. The last 10 and the best 10 will be coming tomorrow. Please check out my channel sponsors below in the description. And as always, Roxabox90 signing up. I'll see you guys next time.